Live from Studio A, WTLK, The Thunder.
All right, people, it's that time now. Disney Plus is officially here. My first day I saw in no particular order the first episode of X-Men the Animated Series, the first episode of the 90s Spider-Man, of course the series premiere of The Mandalorian, and The World According to Jeff Goldblum and Marvel's Hero Project. All of those check out, especially The World According to Jeff Goldblum. That is just an absolute delight of a series. And of course, saw the live action Lady and the Tramp, Frozen, because I got to get ready for Frozen 2 next weekend. And I guess now's a good time to get started with watching all the Star Wars movies. Last Jedi and Solo aren't on there, but it's okay because I already own Last Jedi, and Solo I can live without. So there you have it. Also, The Rock announced on his social medias, along with a picture of concept art from it, Black Adam, the character we know he's going to be playing. Like, we've known this over the last few years, but nothing's come of it. Well, now something's come of it, and it will be in theaters December 22nd, 2021. And coming this week in comic book stores is Glow versus the Babyface, the comic spin-off, I guess you call it a spin-off, or just extra story in the same universe as Glow, about the ladies of wrestling. Of course, it's the Netflix show that I still have yet to see, but I still really want to read this comic because I will eventually get Netflix back, and then I will most definitely watch Glow first thing. But also, this is the comic that I've been telling you about that's written by AJ Mendez, who is wife of CM Punk, who just returned to WWE backstage. I don't know if it's a host thing or just he's the guest for next week, but we'll see. And she also used to be the character AJ Lee in WWE. And also her writing partner and best friend, Amy Garcia, of Lucifer fame and also of Adam's Amazing Dragon Con experience fame. So yeah, definitely go out and grab issue 1 this Wednesday. So that's a pretty neat segue over into the wrestling's part of the show. On Raw, the Kabuki Warriors defeated Becky and Charlotte with the most deadly move in professional wrestling today, the surprise roll-up. And Drew McIntyre defeated Sin Cara because they don't want Sin Cara to go anywhere. The Singh brothers and R-Truth for the 24/7 championship ended in a no contest when Truth locked the brothers in the room with Eric Rowan, of all people. And also Eric Rowan evidently has some sort of weird pet or something that we can't see. We only see a perspective of him looking in a cage with a little tarp over it and being weird. So yeah. And Seth Rollins versus Walter ended in disqualification after Imperium interfered, but Seth was about to kick Walter's ass and hand Walter's first loss in WWE. Fight me on that. Seth Rollins is cool. And so there was an 8-man tag match afterwards of Seth, Kevin Owens, and the Street Profits defeating Imperium, all 4 members, and Alexander Wolf ate the curb stomp in the pin, thus showing, I guess, the curb stomp actually has some effect after all on anybody not named Braun Strowman or The Fiend. Also, Lana claimed to be pregnant, but not really, so we're just going to brush over that and move forward. Andrade defeated Cedric Alexander, so Andrade's on a bit of a streak lately. But then again, all those victories were with some major help from Zelina Vega, so I don't know if this is more a push for Andrade or a push for Zelina Vega. Eric Rowan defeated a jobber named Sonner Dustin. Okay. But he brought that cage out with him, and we have no idea what's in it. The Viking Raiders defeated Mark Andrews and Flash Morgan Webster, who, if you have never seen NXT UK, you'd think these guys were just a couple jobbers that just put out a pretty good fight, but no, these are actually former NXT UK Tag Team Champions. You know, that last takeover that was on DragonCon weekend that was in Cardiff, Wales, that's when they won the titles, and then they lost it to Gallus like a month ago. But yeah, so if you watch all these extra shows like NXT and NXT UK and 205 Live, this has been a very rewarding Survivor Series season for you. Seriously. And then in our main event, Randy Orton, Ricochet, and Humberto Carrillo defeated the OC. And of course, there was a little thread throughout the show where Ricochet was, like, for whatever reason, in conversation with Randy Orton. I guess it's because they're both on Team Red, along with KO, Seth Rollins, and Drew McIntyre. And like Ricochet was just like waiting for the other shoe to drop and Randy to RKO him at some point. So towards the end of the match, Ricochet had thrown one of the OC members out of the ring, and he was looking over at them, and then Randy grabbed Ricochet's shoulder, turned him around like he usually does when he's about to RKO somebody, and then he ended up RKOing AJ Styles, who was coming up behind him. And then at the end of the Raw, Randy just rolled out of the ring, and he was just like, I do whatever I want, whenever I want, whoever I want. So there you have that. In NXT, Lio Rush defeated Angel Garza to retain the Cruiserweight title, and it got a little hot and heavy because part of Angel's gimmick is eventually he just takes off his pants and competes the rest of the match in his manties, and he just like flips them off like that, like they're just some rip-off pants. You would know if you saw it. And this time, Lio Rush's family was in the audience front row, and so when Angel was leapt over the barrier near them, he took off his pants near them, and Lio Rush did not like that at all. Xia Li defeated Aaliyah, and there's debate online whether Aaliyah's face actually got kicked and her nose was actually bleeding, or if that was just fake blood brought on by the towel that the doctor brought out to her. I don't know. Internet's fighting. Finn Balor called out the NXT locker room, and especially Johnny Gargano, who has been medically not cleared to participate in TakeOver War Games 3. But Matt Riddle came out because he was tired of his shit. And then afterwards, Keith Lee defeated Roderick Strong after the Undisputed Era came to his aid to try to distract Lee, but then Tommaso Ciampa and Matt Riddle came out, and then Dominik Dijakovic came out to help them, but instead of being the fourth member, he's going to replace Matt Riddle, as Matt Riddle versus Finn Balor has been booked for War Games 3. Isaiah Swerve Scott defeated Bronson Reed. Damian Priest attacked Killian Dane and Pete Dunne as they were set to have a grudge match. And Io Shirai defeated Mia Yim to gain the advantage for her team in War Games. And it was a pretty neat match, and especially with Mia Yim actually having her face smacked on the ladder and actual blood coming out. I'm pretty sure it's actual blood. And as Mia was about to go and get that briefcase and win the advantage, the fourth member of Team Shayna came out, and it was Kaylee Ray from NXT UK. In fact, she's the NXT UK Women's Champion right now, and she'll be the new member. And then Shayna came out to applaud her team's effort, and Bayley attacked Shayna from behind with a chair after. And there was a little thread throughout where members of Team Ripley had been lying on the ground hurt, along with Marina Shafir and Jessamine Duke, and it was basically implied that women from Team SmackDown and or Team Raw had come in and started attacking them, but you never saw any of those women besides Bayley at the end, so nice little low budget way to continue this whole takeover Survivor Series crossover thing. On AEW Dynamite, Jon Moxley defeated Michael Nakazawa and left an open challenge to anyone because he's pretty much laid waste to Kenny Omega. The Dark Order defeated Jurassic Express and tried to recruit them, but they refused, so the Dark Order attacked them, and they were saved by their third member returning from injury, Luchasaurus. Darby Allin defeated Peter Avalon and Shawn Spears. Though he didn't really defeat Shawn Spears, he just got pulled away in a brawl with Joey Janela. And then he said, "Jon Moxley, I accept." Nia Rose defeated Danny Jordan. Allie was being interviewed by Tony Schiavone, and then she was attacked by Awesome Kong and Brandy Rhodes, and continued on with their weird little thing where they lay somebody out and then take a clip of their hair. MJF and Jericho hugged it out after Chris Jericho was addressing that whole thing, and Cody's music played. MJF came out, and MJF was like, "Wait, do you want me to join the Inner Circle?" And then Jericho was like, "Do you want to join the Inner Circle?" And then MJF was like, "Do you want me to join the Inner Circle?" Jericho was like, "Do you want to join the Inner Circle?" And this went on for a good few minutes, and then they were just like, "On three, the biggest jackass in AEW, Cody, ha 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 ha." Then they hugged it. Bubbly happened, but just a little bit. Then Cody came out to attack him, and then Cody was attacked by MJF's new bodyguard, Wardlaw. Or Wardlow. Wardlaw. I don't know. Too many new names. Then there was a backstage brawl where the Young Bucks and Santana and Ortiz were fighting, and there were forklifts involved, pallets involved, an elevator with Orange Cassidy involved. It was pretty cool. SCU, along with Christopher Daniels, who was the third member who was attacked by the Lucha Brothers, who mocked Pentagon Jr. at Full Gear by being his imposter, defeated Chris Jericho and Sammy Guevara, so there is no Jericho 2 belts, or Chris 2 belts, or Chrissy 2 belts. And of course, that was Jericho's first loss in AEW. And it was achieved by the most devastating move in professional wrestling today, the surprise roll-up. So, Friday night SmackDown. There was an opening with King Corbin, with another stupid thing mocking Roman Reigns, but there was somebody in a dog costume with a Roman Reigns vest. I guess it's a vest, battle vest, whatever you want to call it. And there was a little Chihuahua graphic in there that was actually barking with the riff of Roman's theme song. Rawr, 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 rawr. You get the idea. I guess it was I don't know if it was a little more clever than last week or a little less stupid than last week. You decide. And he decreed himself the new captain of Team SmackDown for Survivor Series, and was going to replace Mustafa Ali, who got his first name back, and Shorty G. He needs to go back to Chad Gable as soon as possible. And he tried to replace him with Dolph Ziggler and Robert Roode, but Mustafa and Shorty defeated Dolph and Robert, so they're still off the team. So it's still going to be Roman Reigns as team captain, along with King Corbin. How is that going to work out? Braun Strowman, Shorty G, and Mustafa Ali. And speaking of Braun Strowman, he defeated the B-Team and Drew Gulak. Well, not really defeated them, just destroyed them. It wasn't even really a real match. They just tried to... Drew Gulak was yelling at him, but he said he lasted longer than Tyson Fury than Gulak had anticipated, and then all three of them tried to attack them, and then Braun just laid him out. And then New Day versus the Revival for the SmackDown Tag Team Championships. Yes, it did happen last week, but I guess they got an automatic rematch just because, and it ended in a no contest when the Undisputed Era attacked them, and then the SmackDown locker room came out to go after the Undisputed Era. Next was Nikki Cross versus Bayley. If Nikki wins, she joins Team SmackDown, which there was also news that Lacey Evans is on the SmackDown women's team. There was no match or anything to determine that. It's just news on the website. But Nikki Cross had to earn her place, and that ended in a no contest after Shayna Baszler attacked Bayley. And then Team SmackDown went to chase after them. And then, Sasha came out to help her, I think. Trying to remember the order of this because it was insane. Because next up, Team Ripley came out, minus Candice LeRae. It was Rhea Ripley, Mia Yim, Tegan Nox, and Dakota Kai. And they came out, and then the whole full team SmackDown came out after them, except for Lacey Evans. And so it was Sasha Banks, Nikki Cross, Carmella, and Dana Brooke, and they defeated Ripley, Yim, Nox, and Kai. And of course, Dakota Kai ate the pin there. So I guess Nikki's probably going to be on the team now, since she was the one that actually got the 1, 2, 3. I guess we'll see next Friday, or this coming Friday, or the website will just randomly tell us. You know how it is. But man, SmackDown season, or not SmackDown season, but Survivor Series season is just incredible. Get to see all these NXT faces, get to see Tegan Nox on SmackDown twice within a few weeks' time. Survivor Series might start being my new favorite pay-per-view if that's how it is. And then our main event was a Miz TV with The Miz and Daniel Bryan. And of course, those two have a very historic rivalry. And, Daniel Bryan and The Miz still hate each other, even though The Miz is a face and Daniel Bryan is sort of on the fence right now. Which, oh, by the way, to get some follow-up, Daniel Bryan actually declined Sami Zayn's offer to join him and Shinsuke and Cesaro because Sami ran away when The Fiend showed up and put his hand down Daniel Bryan's throat. So Daniel Bryan's just sort of pondering his next thing and what the fuck happens with The Fiend. And of course, Bryan admitted that he is mentally unstable, but through all his phases, the one constant has been passion. And he realizes that Bray Wyatt is also unstable mentally, but also very passionate. And then we got a Firefly Funhouse with The Fiend, or just Bray Wyatt. And earlier we had a Firefly Funhouse where he put on a magician's outfit and did an abracadabra on the Universal title. So now the Universal title is all blue now. And with this Firefly Funhouse, Bray pretty much said that, who knows why The Fiend attacked Daniel Bryan. Maybe he just wanted to play, or maybe he remembered Daniel Bryan's betrayal from when he was in the Wyatt family. Most likely that. And so he was just like, so how about we have a fight? And he's trying to get Daniel Bryan to say yes and to resuscitate the yes movement like we've been waiting for him to do since Hell in a Cell, at least. And Bryan refused, and all the Firefly Funhouse puppets each got a turn to say yes. And he was like, and then Daniel turned it around on him and was just like, okay, how about you and I fight, and it's for the Universal title. And so Bray said, yes, 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 yes. And so with that, Bray Wyatt is the psychotic new leader of the Yes Movement. And The Fiend and Daniel Bryan will face each other for the Universal title at Survivor Series. This isn't the Brock Adam Cole Fiend match that I wanted, but The Fiend versus Daniel Bryan is probably what we all need. And with that, this has been WTLK The Thunder. Drink, fight, and make your ancestors proud.